Okay, well, today we're gonna rake a little bit of straw. We had another shot of rain yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. That amounted to another inch. So basically, we had damn near 2 inches of rain on that straw this weekend. I figured it's just probably better off to just rake it, at least get it flipped over off of the wet spot that's laying underneath the windrow. And it's gonna be all matted down into the stubble now, so just at least get it fluffed back up and dry and decent. But I figured, what the heck, since it's right here behind the house, we'll use the Hart Parr. I even went through yesterday and changed the oil in it and serviced it, because it ain't had the oil changed in it in shit 10 years. Mostly because, and in that 10 years, if it got 10 hours on it, I'd be impressed. We never use it, mostly just because the steel wheels make it a pain, and it ain't got hydraulics or anything that makes it handy. And like I say, with steel wheels, you can really only use it around here unless you wanted to haul it somewhere, and it ain't worth the effort. But like I say, since this is right back here, so I changed the oil in it and greased it and yada yada yada. And I tell you what, it's a good thing that we don't use it that often, because we always ran 1040 in it, like all our other gas tractors, and the oil pressure was always kind of meh. And Bob James, the guy that sold the 2105 new and all that stuff, was driving it one time, and Dad asked him what he thought about it, because he was old enough that he was around when these things were new. And he's like, "Oh, just put straight fucking 50 weight in it. That'll take care of the problem." So we run straight 50 in it, and it holds full oil pressure. But since straight 50 weight anymore is considered race oil, it's $9.99 a quart, so it's a little pricey to change the oil in the old girl. And I also hauled out the last of the wheat today. That load went 15.4 for moisture, and test weight bumped back up to 57 even. And that field didn't do so great, depending on how. There's 488.25, I think, is what it added up to, bushels. So if you figure it at 12 acres, it comes out to 40 bushel an acre, 40 and some change. And if you figure it at 10 acres, which is probably more realistic as to what I actually got off the field, it's 48.8. So the 48.8 is probably a better representation of what that field actually ran. But if you want the honest number, you got to do the full 12 acres, and it comes out to 40 bushel an acre, which still could have been worse. Not complaining. By the time you take the straw off and the money for the grain, it's still more than paid for itself this year. So, and also, got some misinformation. I actually got 15 round bales off of it, and when Rodney called me to say what they got off of it and how it was going, I figured that meant they were done, but they still had a bunch of the long rows left, so they ought to get at least 20. I'd say they ought to get at least 7 more bales off of it. So 22 bales off of 12 acres. And because people keep saying it, that's not my straw. That straw is sold right out of the field. I don't even screw with it. They come in, they round bale it, do their own thing, haul it off, and write me a check. That's their deal. I don't round bale any of my straw. It's harder for me to round bale straw when I don't have a round baler. So anyway, the introduction's out of the way. See if we get this old girl cranking. I gotta put fuel in it. It's a really sad, because you crank start a tractor, you never, if it's gonna fire, you never have to pull the lever all the way over to get it to go. Usually you give it like a quarter turn and you can feel the resistance start to go away as it fires. It's a real satisfying feeling. It's hard to explain. But I'm gonna pull it around and put fuel in it, and then we'll go grab the rake. Okay, got a 1930s tractor hooked on a 1940s rake. So I did two things. First, the drawbar on this rake has what, 1, 2, 3, like 4 different positions you can move it to. So I pushed it all the way. I pushed the drawbar on, or the tongue on the rake as far over as it can go, and then I swung the drawbar over. I can go a little bit more, but I don't need to. That way I kick the rake over this way as far as I can, so I don't got to run the tractor on the windrow. Because all I only have to use about half the rake. So all I want to do is take the windrow and move it over here. So I don't need to use the whole width of the rake. So, oh, yeah, I need to. Should be about right. That's pretty decent. Okay. This is an interesting little turn of events. Lost 2 lug bolts. Luckily nothing's actually hurt. And I got some spares, so go get my lug wrench real quick and we'll fix her up. Lickety split. At least it happened here, not pulling it down the road. And minus the one little mishap, there's that. Definitely needed to get that off of the, or get that stuff rolled over. You can tell where the windrows were laying, it's wetter. But I got, I mean, it's fairly dry. But there was spots where you'd roll it over and you could tell that it was still wet because it still shined. Oh yeah, that will make tomorrow no problem. Sometimes that rake doesn't got the throat for 13 foot of straw. It'd be fine if it wasn't up so high on the stubble, but it doesn't do too bad. I also need to look in the book in the troubleshooting and see if I can solve some of that by rotating the cam and changing the attack angle on the tines to make them throw out further for longer. But anyhow, get the old girl put away, and nice part about raking straw is, other than the wheels, it didn't even really get dirty. Got a rope seal in it and it's getting a little tarred. So anyhow, I guess, Lord willing, that'll make tomorrow. So I guess that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one, probably baling straw.